The tunnels are very compact, measuring approximately 1 meter high by 1 meter wide. But after walking about 40 meters, you finally get to the Grand Gallery. The Grand Gallery is a spectacular tunnel of immense size that leads the adventurous visitor directly to the very core of the building, to the King's Chamber. In the lower part of the Grand Gallery, you can divert and take a straight path that leads to the Queen's Chamber, which is a small empty room that has a niche in the shape of a corbelled arch. This place probably held the sacred statue of the pharaoh, or you can continue ascending through the Grand Gallery. This large passageway was built with a technique where the rock courses offset. This does not form an actual vault, but simply brings the stones of the wall closer together. It was a construction technique widely used in the Bronze Age. You can find it even in Mayan architecture in Mexico. If we go through the Great Gallery, we will finally reach the Sancta Sanctorum, the Holy of the Holies, the King's Chamber. Here the sarcophagus of the pharaoh with his mummified body had to be preserved, and it was undoubtedly the most important place in the entire pyramid, which is reflected by the fact that the King's Chamber was built with a different material from the rest of the pyramid. While the rest of the pyramids were made with the limestone extracted from the Giza Plateau, in this room the floor, the walls, and these relieving chambers that had to guarantee that the entire pyramid would not collapse on top of the void formed by the King's Chamber were carved from gigantic blocks of Egyptian granite, the hardest stone known to the Egyptians to ensure the safety of the pharaoh's body kept in the King's Chamber. The King's Chamber had extraordinary, almost impenetrable security measures. All of this is granite, which is very difficult to carve or drill. It can only be entered through the original entrance to the chamber. So when you go from the Great Gallery to the King's Chamber, you first have to go through a small tunnel that is just over a meter high. So you have to enter on your knees. You have to go through this antechamber that had 3 granite slabs held at the top. You have to duck again and go through another small tunnel. And finally, you enter to the King's Chamber. Once the servants completed all the rituals related to the funeral of Cheops, and the king was locked in the chamber enjoying his eternal rest, they returned on their knees through the tunnel, and by means of an unknown system, they made the large granite slabs held on top fall in such a way that this entire area was sealed by several granite slabs that completely blocked the access to the King's Chamber.